Hi everyone, it's Lindey. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing another episode of Frequently Asked Fridays. But if you're new to my channel, this series is all about answering all of your questions and filling these episodes with as many answers as possible. I've had the pleasure of partnering with Wholesale Ninjas for this video series. That means that every single episode, one of my viewers that asks a question is going to win a free 100-piece liquidation lot. And in order to enter to win, all you have to do is ask a question. In order to be eligible to win on the next episode, all you have to do is go down to the comment section and ask a question. Just make sure to put 5 question marks at the start of your question. That will indicate entry into the giveaway. And of course, make sure to watch until the very end so you can find out if your question won during the last round of giveaway entries. Before I get to all of your questions, I want to give a huge thank you to Wholesale Ninjas for partnering with me, sponsoring these videos, and offering to give away a liquidation lot to one of my viewers every single episode. If you've never heard of Wholesale Ninjas before, they are an amazing liquidation company. They sell a lot of health and beauty products. You guys know that is my absolute favorite category to sell in. They also do some general merchandise. One of the things that I like the most about Wholesale Ninjas is that they can truly accommodate any level seller. You can buy a small box from them all the way up to a truckload. You know, some liquidation companies out there, they can only accommodate one or the other, but Wholesale Ninjas is there for you no matter what stage of selling you're in. They're super consistent, quality control is always on point, and in my opinion, there's no better liquidation company out there that I could have partnered with for the series. Now you guys are probably wondering why I've been talking to you in my kitchen, and I'm standing here with a KitchenAid, and I have a whole bunch of ingredients sitting out in front of me. Well, wonder no further, we're baking cookies. That's right, it's October, a cold front has moved in. I want to bake some cookies, and so I figured, why not kill 2 birds with 1 stone? I'll answer some questions and do some baking. If you guys are curious as to what cookie recipe I'm using, I might share it. I haven't decided yet. It's kind of a secret family recipe. My great aunt, Nestlé Tollhause, has given us the recipe. Come on, tell me you got that reference. Tell me it didn't take a clip just for you to get the reference. Tollhause. No, funny story, I actually have my own chocolate chip recipe that I always use. Typed it out and I put it in my own little cookbook, but I can't find it. Ever since I moved, I can't find this little notebook. It's just like a regular binder. I think it's packed in a random box that we still haven't unpacked yet. So I really am going to be using the recipe just from Nestlé Tollhouse because I know it's a good recipe and my own personal recipe is adapted from this one. So yeah, so I'm gonna get started with the questions and I'm gonna get baking. But of course, I think I need to preheat my oven first to 375 degrees. Preheat on. Also, no negative comments about my cooking skills, okay? I'm just doing my best. I'm doing my best. Also, I just have to say, you guys always ask so many good questions. I think that I had a total of 700 and something questions, and they were all so good. It's always really hard to pick ones to use in the video. So if you feel like your question is getting skipped, I promise it's not on purpose. There's just so many questions to try to get through, and I can only squeeze so many questions into an episode. Susan H. asks, how many active listings do you recommend having at any given time to keep up a steady flow of orders coming in? Great question, Susan. Not only is it a great question, but it is one that I get daily, easily daily. And the problem with this question is that there is really no good answer. There's really no good answer. The answer is literally different for every single seller depending on what they're selling. When I was selling clothing, it took about 1,200 to 1,500 items to have daily consistent sales. But now selling health and beauty, I only need about 500 active listings in order to have daily reoccurring sales. Not only that, but there are some sellers out there that sell clothing that only need 500 active sales. It honestly and truly just depends on what you're selling and what your personal sell-through rate is. And I wish that there was a better answer, but there's not. A rule of thumb that I've heard a lot of sellers say is basically you will sell 0.5% to 1% of your total listed inventory every single day. So that would mean if you wanted to sell one item a day, that you should have at least 100 active listings. Now, is that fail-proof? No, I don't think it is, because again, I think it depends on what you're selling. I do, however, think how many items you have listed is not nearly, get this out of the, I will say, however, I do think that it's more important that you list consistently versus having a certain amount of items available for sale. It's a lot harder to measure and talk at the same time than I expected it to be. Oops. In my humble opinion, that it is more important how consistently you're listing versus how many active items you have available for sale in order to have regular occurring sales. Because if you have this idea in your head that you have to have 100 active listings and then you reach 100 active listings, you can't just sit there and expect to start selling one a day. You have to consistently keep listing. So I would focus more on listing regularly versus just having a certain number in your head, a goal that you want to hit for active listings just to have daily sales. Hopefully I don't butcher your last name. Dave Binsick. How do you have time for managing a family and your business? Boundaries. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. So when I first started growing my eBay store, I worked a lot and it caused a lot of friction between my husband and I. So what we ended up doing is we ended up having a sit down because I was feeling like my husband was not understanding that I was growing a business, and I kind of felt like he didn't respect that I was trying to run a business. To me, it almost felt like he was treating it like it was a hobby and it didn't deserve to have its own time. Even though that might not have been exactly what he was going for, that's how I felt. So we had to have some talks. It took, it did not happen in one talk. It took 4 or 5 talks for us to kind of set some boundaries and say, during this hour to this hour, I am working, I will not be bothered. And in return, after a certain amount of time, I'm not going to work. The problem that we were having is I was working at night a lot and I was trying to grow a business, right? So what I ended up doing is I ended up saying a certain amount of nights a week, that's when I would work. And then the other nights I stopped working after a certain amount of time. And that seemed to work. So setting up clear boundaries and a schedule really helps. I live and die by my planner. I plan out everything. That's the only way you can do it really, is you have to plan your time and you have to stick with it and you have to be on board with your spouse. Lassie Girl 6 asks, first off, I want to say thank you. So thank you. Thank you. I'm so appreciative of all your help and knowledge. You rock. Oh, thank you very much. My question is about shipping out of the country. It's so confusing when there are so many countries. If you don't use global shipping, who's the best to go with? Thank you in advance for your answer. So shipping internationally, I will select the eBay Global Shipping Program on everything, but then there are some listings I will go ahead and I will do additional international shipping through USPS. So United States Postal Service, if you're shipping internationally, first class goes up to 4 pounds. And most of the items that I ship are 4 pounds or less. So that works out pretty well. I'll just select United States Postal Service, first class international, and I'll just make sure to have the accurate weight in. That way, if an international buyer purchases, they pay for 100% of the shipping label. I do have a video where I talk about shipping directly internationally, and I will link that down either in the video description or I'll link it up here in the iCards. But it's really not that scary. You just have to make sure that you fill everything out in your listing. Martha P asks, hi Lindey. Hi Martha. I'm wondering how you are dealing with low ballers. I had a buyer offer me $1 on an item that was listed for $16.99. I take it as an insult. Would you set up automatic rejection? Thank you. So Martha, you are not the only one. The I put off doing best offer for a really long time because I didn't want to deal with all of the lowball offers. I felt like it was a waste of time. But you know what I realized? I realized I needed to stop taking things so darn personally because it's not, almost dropped that in there, because it's not personal. These people don't know you. They're not sending a lowball offer to offend you. They're just trying to get a really good deal. And yeah, $1 offer on $16.99 is extremely insulting. I've had those exact same kind of offers and it's frustrating, but you need to not take it personally and look at it as an opportunity to have some activity in your store. I will say never, ever, ever decline an offer. Declining an offer is one of the worst things that you can do. It basically counteracts any activity in your store. Activity in your store is a good thing, right? But if you decline an offer, that's almost like telling the eBay algorithm that you don't want a sale. So always, always, always counter. For a really long time, I did have the auto decline and auto accept set up, but then I quickly decided to stop doing that when I found out that there was an offer that was automatically declined by one of my regular buyers that was only a penny below. Like if I would have seen that it was her, I would have accepted her offer. So from that point forward, I decided that I wanted to see every single offer coming in. Also, if one buyer is sending out multiple offers to multiple items in your store, you're more likely to entertain a much lower offer. So let's say you have a $15 item and someone sends you an $8 offer. If they're also sending an offer on 10 other things, you're going to be more likely to accept an $8 offer on a $15 item because they're buying so much. So I would say do not do auto decline and don't decline any offers at all. If you get an insulting offer like that, just counter it and move on. It's nothing personal. The Thrifty Shopper Vlogs asks, if you lost an item that you sold and you searched high and low and still couldn't find it, what would you do? And if you have 3-day handling, how soon would you let them know? So I do not think that it's a good idea to tell the truth in that circumstance. A lot of people might disagree with me, but I would never tell a buyer I simply can't find their item. You should let them know as soon as possible though, because if you let 3 days go by and they haven't heard from you and then they find out they're not getting their item, they're more likely to be angry. They can still leave feedback, by the way, so you don't want them angry. And so I would basically just tell them that unfortunately there has been an error and that item has already sold. And then I would ask them if they wanted to substitute a similar item from my eBay store or if they want me to cancel. If they tell me no, just cancel it, then I'll cancel it at buyer's request. That avoids a defect on your end as the seller. And then if they want to substitute an item, I just substitute that item and avoid a defect altogether. Why Freeman 08 asks, when you send an offer, how do you determine how much you will discount on an item? Is it across the board percentage or a dollar amount, or should you be looking at every single individual item? So when it comes to offers, I do like to send them individually through the app. I did used to do bulk offers all the time. However, I have since stopped doing that just because I feel like some items I would discount more than others. So I feel like some items, if I just sent 5% off across the board, I feel like some items I could do more like 15 or 20% because I desperately want to get rid of it because maybe it's been sitting around a while. Oh no, no, oh no. How did that happen? As for a certain percentage, I don't have one. I just basically look at the item, and I do know how much I pay for everything off the top of my head. Because I do liquidation, I really don't pay more than $2 for anything at any given time. So I just kind of use some mental math and I think about what kind of a return I'm gonna get. I also look at the item and I say to myself, okay, does this item have an expiration date that's coming up? Has this item been listed for a really long time and I just want to get it gone? Because I want to move stuff, right? I don't want stuff to sit around. So I'll just take it on a case-by-case basis and send an offer that I'm comfortable with. I don't necessarily go off any certain percentage. Cookie dough. Look at that cookie dough. Bagheera 2021 asks, with managed payments now, do you know how eBay is going to handle 1099 tax forms since it's usually Since it was PayPal before? From Matt. Ah, that's my husband's name, Matt. So when it comes to the 1099, I don't suspect that anything is going to change because before eBay would send out 1099s for sellers anyway. If anything, this is probably going to be better because if I'm remembering correctly, I have never had a year where the 1099 that eBay sent out matched PayPal's identically. So you won't have to worry about 1099s not matching up because it's going to come from one source. So I think it's going to be for the better. But yeah, I mean, no change. eBay's going to send out a 1099 just like you would have got with PayPal. I think that the year of the switch is probably going to be the most wonky though, because you're going to have one for PayPal, one for eBay. So the first tax year of the switch is probably going to be the strangest, but really nothing is going to be different. I am really fighting the urge to lick this right now. I have to make sure that everything tastes fine because honestly, I was out of baking soda, so I had to only use baking powder. I had to make sure it was going to taste okay. Oh, this was a bad idea. I need a minute. I need a minute alone. Vera Gormley asks, hello, Lindey. Hello, Vera. I'm new to reselling and you've taught me so much. Yay, happy to help. When weighing after fully packed and labeled, is it okay to round down if it's just 1 or 2/10 over the ounce, or do you always round up? Shipping question, great question. So you always round up. I do have, which I'm sure you've seen, I do have a couple of videos all about shipping. I have one about shipping heavy items cheap, and then I have one about shipping like a pro. I'll link those down in the video description if you want to go watch in case you missed them. But in those, I talk about the first class shipping tiers being 4, 8, 12, and 16. So I would just round up to the next highest tier to make sure you're not accidentally underweighing your items. And if you're doing it based on heavier weights like pounds, if you're weighing something that weighs over a pound and it weighs 2 pounds, 8.1 ounces, it doesn't matter if you do 2 pounds, 8 ounces or 2 pounds, 9 ounces, because it's just gonna round up to 3 pounds anyway. Does that make sense? So if you're doing pounds, the total rounded pound is what matters. If you're doing first class, then stick with 4, 8, 12, 16 ounces as the standard, but you always round up. It's Natural asks, hi Lindey, hello. When you do sales in your store, how do you go ahead and change the price so it will cover the cost and still make a profit? Or do you just calculate at the beginning, adding a higher percentage to cover the sale? Thank you. That one. Yeah, if you price your item at what you need it to sell for in order to make a profit, and then you go run sales or accept offers after that, you're gonna be losing money. That's the wrong way to look at it. So yeah, whenever I price an item, I always keep those discounts in my head, and I always price it about 15 or 20% higher than I'm willing to take because I know that I'm going to be running markdown sales and I know that I'm going to be accepting offers. So definitely price a little higher in the beginning. How much higher you price it is going to depend on the typical sales that you run. I usually run between 5 and 10% sales, and then I'll take small offers off of that. So whenever I price my items, I typically go about 15 or 20% higher than I'm willing to accept in the very beginning because of those sales. The Jersey Girl Crafts asks, are there any rules for over-the-counter medicine for selling in some states? So over-the-counter medicines are not regulated state to state. However, a lot of over-the-counter medicines, actually most of them, you cannot send overseas. So you can send them domestically, but not international. Reed Rosier asks, I'm sure this has probably been asked before, but do you use QuickBooks or a different accounting software to manage your business? If so, what do you recommend, and at what point in terms of total sales do you need to start? So I do not use QuickBooks. I use Godaddy Bookkeeping. I talk about Godaddy Bookkeeping in some videos, not a lot. But Godaddy Bookkeeping I really like because everything is automatic. You can sync up your eBay account, your Amazon account, your PayPal, every bank account that you use for your reselling business, and everything is automatic. It automatically calculates fees and all of that. You do have to do some work in the beginning though, because you have to train GoDaddy Bookkeeping what your habits are. Some fees, it knows exactly what it is, but then some spending habits, you have to tell it what it is. Now, at what point do you start using that software? I would say whenever you can afford to put that kind of money into your business. GoDaddy Bookkeeping is not free. It's roughly $10 a month. I pay $120 for the year. So as soon as you're comfortable paying $120 a year for software in your business, I think that that's the time to go ahead and use it, because it really does make things a lot easier. Marina N asks, what is the non-USPS size box that you use the most? The 8-inch by 4-inch by 3-inch box, hands down. The 8-inch by 4-inch by 3-inch is a small enough box. I will definitely make sure to link it down below. You can get it on Amazon or eBay. It's about the same price both places. It is small enough where almost everything can still go first class in it, but it's big enough to ship a lot of the bigger small items and still keep it first class. For instance, it's perfect for boxes of hair color. It's perfect for bottles of shampoo or hairstyling product. And it's also still small enough for things like cosmetics that maybe you don't want to put in a bubble mailer. And it's still light enough that it can go 4 ounces. So these boxes are sturdy enough to keep things safe, but also lightweight enough in order to keep things first class, and it fits a lot of stuff. 8-inch by 4-inch by 3-inch, by far my favorite. Chloe Walters asks, hi Lindey. Hello, Chloe. I've recently started to get serious about my eBay business, and I am scared to trust any other sources other than Wholesale Ninjas. Do you have any advice for branching out to new sources and what to look for in a trustworthy sourcing website? Thank you for teaching me almost everything I know about eBay. Thank you so much, Chloe. So it's really tough, right? That is one of the reasons why I always tell people never spend the money on liquidation that you cannot afford to set on fire, because every time you buy liquidation, it's a risk. Even some of the best companies out there can have bad orders. And the hard part is if you try out a new liquidation company and you get bad stuff, you don't know if that bad stuff is the norm or if it's something that's not typical, because even the best companies can have bad lots every once in a while and their quality control can take a dip. So it is very risky. I would recommend, if you're interested in a liquidation company, that you call them and talk to somebody, ask them all of your questions, let them know all of your concerns, and just see how you feel about them. I've talked to liquidation companies before where they were super into answering all of my questions, and then I've talked to some companies that basically just sounded like I was an inconvenience to them, and I ended up taking my business elsewhere, because I like to form relationships with the businesses that I work with, and you should too. Now, there is a guide that exists that I am an affiliate for. It was a liquidation guide that was put together by Product Sourcing 101. In this guide, there is a whole lot of information about buying liquidation, and there's also a sourcing guide of reputable vetted liquidation companies all over the United States. Now, this guide is not free. It does cost $77, but I am an affiliate for it. I have read through it. I've seen the whole thing. I do stand behind it. If I could have created my own document exactly like that, that's exactly what it would look like. It's a very, very good guide. I will go ahead and link my affiliate link down in the video description, or I'll link it to a pinned comment or something like that. But if you're interested in checking out this guide, again, it does cost $77, but I do think it is well worth it. There is so much information, including an entire list of reputable, vetted liquidation companies all over the US. It also tells you the kind of items that they sell and all of that. So that guide is amazing. But other than that, you just kind of have to take some chances and trust your gut. Had to go all over the house, but I found me some parchment paper so I don't have to clean these cookie trays off. Yay me! Angela Amdor asks, how do you personally handle returns on makeups and beauty products? Please advise. I wish I had a better answer, but unfortunately, if you have a return of a beauty product or some cosmetics and it has been opened and used, you're out. You're out that money for the product, you're out that money for the return. That's just kind of one of the downsides to selling in the beauty category. Because I mean, the buyer, see, you can't, so some sellers might say that you can just send them a partial refund because you can no longer sell the product because it's been used, right? However, I really don't take that philosophy when it comes to cosmetics, because I feel like that would cause more problems than it would solve. Because if someone paid $10 for a beauty product and you only give them a $5 refund, they're going to be upset about it. They could open a case with eBay. They could leave you negative feedback. And really, is it going to be worth all of that hassle for that $5? You might as well just give them their $5 back. In my experience, most people buy beauty products because they know what they're buying and they want to keep it. They don't want to just try it and then send it back. Sarah Gray asks, do you use a separate bank account to buy your items to sell on eBay? Yes. Always, always, always keep your business funds separate from your personal. That is a big mistake that I made in the beginning. It's really hard to tell if you're making any money in the very beginning. And then also, if you're intermingling funds, that's really, really bad for tax purposes. So if you are reselling, have a separate bank account. It doesn't have to be a business bank account, but have a separate bank account where you keep your household funds completely separated from your business funds. Nicole Wills asks, love your frequently asked Fridays and look forward to them. Thank you, Nicole. After being inspired by you a few months back, I started my eBay store with HBA and in process of scaling. Doing quite well and enjoying. So happy to hear that. Now I'm trying to figure out how to manage expiration dates. I know you routinely check yours. Lindey, is there a report or a place that you can go in eBay to easily see expiration dates? Gracias in advance. Thank you. No, there's not a report, but you can search your eBay store. So what I do is every single listing that has an expiration date, what I will do is I will put the expiration date at the very, very end of the title of my listing. And then every month I will search my eBay active items for that expiration date. So this month I would be searching for 10/2020, and that will give me all of my active listings that expire at the end of this month. Brenda Adams asks, love your videos. Thank you, Brenda. Have watched every one of them and can hardly wait for the next one to come out. Don't know if you're just doing eBay questions or if you're answering Mercari questions also. What is the new added charge coming to Mercari October 1st? The 2.9% plus the 30 cent also, is that charge to the seller or the buyer? And is that on top of the 10% that they already charged? Love you, waiting on the next video. Thank you so much, Brenda. The 2.9% and the 30 cent is a transaction fee for processing payments. So before, Mercari was just charging a flat 10% final value fee essentially for your sale, but now they are also adding an additional 2.9% plus 30 cents on every single transaction for payment processing. Yes, this is frustrating, but I am honestly not very surprised. I think a lot of these selling platforms are going to start charging more fees. I think that a lot of them were just having certain fees as an introductory kind of period, but now they're going to start charging more fees the more popular the platforms get. I fully suspect that one day soon, Poshmark is going to have a store subscription fee, because right now they just kind of have it where you can have a closet with as many products as you want listed. I can't see that lasting much longer. I'm willing to bet that they're going to start having store subscriptions very, very soon so that they can increase their bottom line. And that 2.9% plus the 30 cent transaction fee is going to be charged to you as the seller. The buyer does not pay that. Andy Loney asks, how much does the mic and battery pack setup you have cost? And where can I get it? Thank you. So the battery pack that I'm currently wearing, it's right here, and the mic, it's $199. It's a Tascam. Tascam, I have found, has some of the best products in terms of microphones and all of that. It's $199 for a bundle. I did get it on Amazon. I'll link it below. And yes, I love it. It's fantastic. Janine Peterson asks, I always learn something new from each one of your videos. Thank you so much. Thank you for the terrific content. Thank you for watching. Here are my questions. When do you feel it's worth it to offer free returns? What things should you consider profitability-wise before offering this? I'd also love to see a detailed video on lots versus singles. All the best to you. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, Janine. So first question, when do you feel it's worth it to offer free returns? I was thinking about doing a video a little bit more about this because if you do free returns, it opens you up to being a top-rated plus seller, which I think being a top-rated plus seller does have a lot of benefits. So for that reason alone, I do think that free returns is a good choice. I also think doing free returns is a good choice because it almost guarantees that you can have every single negative feedback removed. It's almost like feedback security, because if a buyer is dissatisfied and leaves you a negative feedback, you offer free returns when all they need to do is return the product if they're dissatisfied. So I've had some negative feedback removed just because I offer free returns and they decided to leave a negative feedback instead of sending the item back. So I also think that it's a good idea to offer free returns if the item that you're selling ships first class. Because first class is the cheapest shipping method, that means if they do return it and it's on the seller's dime, which is exactly what free returns is, the seller pays for the return shipping, you're only paying like at most $5 for the return label because it's first class. Now, it might be a little bit more difficult to do free returns on an item that's a lot heavier because then you would have to pay a lot more in return shipping. So I think that if you're selling, one of my lights just went dim. Hopefully it didn't affect you guys. So I think if you're shipping things first class, you should definitely be entertaining the idea of free returns because I think a lot of the benefits outweigh the negatives. Set timer for 9 minutes.
Your timer is set for 9 minutes.
Thank you. So as we wait for these cookies to bake, I'm going to avoid eating all of this cookie dough. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And anybody out there that wants to tell me that I can't eat raw cookie dough because I'll make myself sick, stop trying to smash my dreams. Zena Morgan asks, Lindey, I'm a huge fan of your channel. Thank you very much. In fact, it's helped me through a lot of episodes of my selling journey. Happy to help. Have you ever had this happen to you? I'm both the buyer and a seller on eBay. I recently found a lot of vintage doll furniture where I won the bid. After winning the bid, I immediately paid for the item, but then I was contacted by the seller saying that I needed to pay them separately through PayPal because eBay was holding their funds and the buyer had also provided their phone number. Of course, this is happening during the time of this whole COVID pandemic. Therefore, I had no one really to contact quickly on eBay. I had paid for my item and could not understand why I needed to make a second payment. Well, the long and short of it is I never received my item and I never got a refund. Has this ever happened to you? First of all, if you have not gotten a refund and you never got your item, you need to contact eBay. That's some bullshit. I'm just gonna say it. It's some bullshit. It's sellers like that are giving eBay a bad name, and frankly, it pisses me off because the sellers that try to do what's right, we have to compete with sellers that do that and screw buyers over. If you weren't already an eBay seller, how would your buying experience be on eBay? Not very good. So no, this has never happened to me. However, what I'm suspecting is probably been recently switched over to eBay managed payments, and they didn't want to do like all of the other sellers have to do and wait 5 days for their funds. It's actually against eBay policy for that seller to tell you to contact them in any other way. They are not supposed to be asking you to pay through another channel, especially if they're on eBay managed payments. So that seller is doing all of the wrong stuff and they need to be reported. I'm sorry. If you are that seller and you're watching my video, I'm sorry, you deserve to be reported. You just did everything wrong. Everything wrong. And the worst part is you never even sent that buyer the product that they bought. Shame on you. It's sellers like you that are an embarrassment to eBay's platform. I didn't realize I was gonna get so pissy there for a minute. Sir Galahad asks, because you are so well known by eBay, do they put you at the head of the line when you call, or do you have a special number that you are privy to that normal sellers don't have? This might surprise you, Sir Galahad. I get no special treatment. I'm gonna burn my cookies. This is what happens when I forget to set the timer again. No, I overcooked the edges. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna turn the temp down. This was way too hot. Yeah, I'm getting to know this oven, and this was too hot. It was too hot. Don't get me wrong, I'm still gonna eat them, but it was way too hot. Oh well, I'll just have to bake more. No big deal. So anyway, going back to your question, Sir Galahad, I do have a special phone number that I can call, but it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm on social media. It's because I have what's called eBay Concierge. Whenever sellers attend the eBay Open annual conference, you get enrolled in eBay Concierge. It's not a particular phone number per se, but you do get routed to an eBay Concierge rep whenever you call. It's kind of like anchor support. If you have an eBay anchor store, you will have a dedicated phone line. It's kind of like eBay Concierge. So no, I do not get moved up to the front of the line or anything special like that because of who I am, but only because I have eBay Concierge, and there are lots and lots of sellers that have eBay Concierge. I'm not the only one. If you enroll in eBay Open, then you can have it. Also, something else that I wanted to take the time to mention is that a lot of people think that eBay YouTubers are paid by eBay or influencers receive special treatment. And I have to say that while I've never been an eBay influencer, like I'm not an official eBay influencer, by the way. I know a lot of people think that, but I am not. I was actually asked to be an eBay influencer and I said, no, thank you, because I want to be able to continue to tell you guys what I think without having to sugarcoat things for eBay. But the eBay influencers that I have known, they don't get paid. So don't think that being an eBay influencer is a paid thing. I'm not even sure what eBay influencers get, but I know it ain't money. Sean Bostick asks, how do you sell diapers from Wholesale Ninjas since eBay will not let you sell? So is eBay still not letting people sell diapers and things like that? I'm not sure, but I wouldn't sell them on eBay anyway. Things like diapers, I flip really super fast on Facebook Marketplace. So disappointed in how brown those are. Once they cool, I'll bring it over and show you. So brown. They're so brown. That's what I get for reading the directions and not trusting my gut. All right, I gotta scrape the bowl to get these last little bits. Karen Reyes asks, what are the advantages of using a UPC code in a listing? Should I be providing this information when I can? Yes, definitely provide a UPC whenever you're listing if you can, for a couple of different reasons. You can automatically have information filled in that eBay has on file, and two, your item will qualify for the eBay product catalog. So eBay is slowly transitioning over to the eBay product catalog, which is a layout that's kind of like what Amazon does. And your item cannot be showcased in the eBay product catalog if there is no UPC listed. Also, that UPC is tied to things like product ratings that can show up in eBay, and it'll also help pre-fill out some categories as long as eBay has that item in its catalog to pre-fill. So definitely put the UPC if you have it. This is honestly why I never bake cookies. I have a problem. Get these in the oven. Set timer for 9 minutes.
Okay, 9 minutes and counting.
Although now I've lowered the temp, so I'm just gonna have to watch this. You guys are gonna have to not distract me so I don't burn my cookies. I am disappointed overall, unfortunately. Yeah, see how dark they are around the edges? So some of you might like them like this, but in our household, we much prefer them not this way. Leanne Gunston asks, are you going to be doing more cooking videos? Well, looky here. What a coinky dink. No, in all seriousness, I have been getting this question more and more frequently. If you're newer to my YouTube channel, a couple of years ago, I was doing a few hustle at home cooking dinner videos, and I stopped doing them because there wasn't really a lot of interest in them. So I have since decided that I am going to go ahead and I'm going to start a second YouTube channel. There's no videos over there yet, but the channel is created. So if you want to go ahead and subscribe to that channel and turn on the notification bell, that way when I do start posting videos, you will be notified. I will go ahead and link it down in the video description. I'll also link it in the top pinned comment. But it's going to be a YouTube channel that is all about Lindey doing her best. So the entire channel is going to be all about my journey with meal plans, meal prep, trying out different kinds of recipes that I see online. I'm basically going to be on a mission to find the easiest, fastest meals because I'm busy. I don't have a lot of time to cook. And frankly, I am super tired of feeding my family nothing but sandwiches and convenience foods. So this YouTube channel, I'm going to do my best and find a solution to the problem I'm trying to solve. So if you guys want to go subscribe to that YouTube channel and eagerly await the release of some new videos, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Liquidation King LA asks, "Hi Lindey, love the vlog. Thank you so much. If you could have a palette of 1,000 of the same personal care item, which one would you desire to resell?" I don't even have to think about this. Hands down, Olay product. Any kind of Olay face cream, if I could get a palette of 1,000 of them, that's what I would want to sell. Olay face cream, without a doubt, is the fastest selling item. As soon as I list it, it sells. It is really competitively priced all over eBay, but it's such a popular product that you could just flip it over and over again. Dawn Southern Finds asks, "What is the percentage of items that can't be used when buying pallets?" I would say pallets, depending on how the pallet is packaged, whether it's small boxes or in a giant Gaylord, I want to say that the percentage of trash that you get that's unsellable is somewhere between 10 and 20%. All right, you guys, are you ready to find out the next winner of the 100-piece liquidation lot from Wholesale Ninjas? Drum roll, please. The winner, selected by random comment selection, is Maria. Don't have your last name, but it's Maria. Maria asks, "Hi Lindey." Hello Maria, congratulations. Thank you for all your great videos full of great information. Are you thinking of having your own website in the future to sell your products? Thank you so much for your question. Congratulations. I have already replied to your comment so that you can contact me to claim your free liquidation box. So to answer your question, I have been contemplating having my own website so that I can do some sort of customizable beauty box. It would not be for resale, it would be for personal use only. But the only thing that is keeping me from doing my own website is having to drive my own traffic to it. The beauty of having your product selling on a platform like eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, or Amazon is the fact that you already have lots of traffic on those sites every single day. But the minute you go to your own platform, you are the one responsible. Cookies. You are the one responsible for, yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to get used to this oven. Then you are suddenly the one that's responsible for all of your traffic. And I think that that's something that a lot of people don't consider when they decide to just leave a platform like eBay and go open up their own store. You have to be able to drive your own traffic. That requires a lot of knowledge when it comes to things like Facebook or Instagram ads, or you have to have a very large social media presence to drive traffic there. Now, the whole idea that I have for selling my own stuff on my own site is literally just a way to sell some of the beauty products that I have that I don't feel are a good fit on eBay, or I want to create custom beauty boxes at a discounted price for my viewers for personal use, not resale, but personal use. So it is something that I'm entertaining. So let me know down in the comments below if you are interested in something like that. If I were to put together a box of, say, 10 or 15 different personal care items. And that means that you could try different things at full sizes. Let me know if that's something that interests you, because it's definitely something that I'm considering. Don't forget, there's going to be a new episode of Frequently Asked Fridays every other Friday. The next one is going to be on Friday, October the 16th. So make sure that you are subscribed and ring the notification bell. That way you'll know whenever a video is released. Please remember to like this video before you leave. Everything that I referenced in this video will be linked down in the video description or in the top pinned comment. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I will see you guys with my next video. Bye-bye.